Welcome back. If you saw the DPS tier list, this is on the same balance patch. We are doing a boon support tier list this time. We are going with boon support classes, and we will see where we end up in the boon support pipeline. Now, not all of these classes have available boon support options to them, so we will be skipping over some of them. If I miss one of them, hit me in the comments section. I will give you my ranking on the fly. But with that, I'm going to get right into it. I'm pretty sure the DPS tier list was longer than I intended it to be. We'll start with the Alacrity Tempest build. I want to say Alacrity Tempest is either A tier or S tier for sure. I'm going to leave it in A tier for now. It just has tons of support. So I put Tempest in S tier for DPS. I'm going to put it in A tier for boon support just right now. The main reason is because it does lack some CC. The Elementalist has always had a problem with CC, and when you are a boon support role, it's basically between you and the healer to make sure that the break bars are getting broken. If you have a designated role, if you are a Q or Alacrity DPS, you are basically responsible for doing break bar damage, and unfortunately the Tempest doesn't really have that, but it does have a lot of other things available to it. So we'll just leave it there for now. Chronomancer. Chronomancer is kind of in a similar boat. I would say it has a ton of utility available to it. The main issue is that the Chronomancer in single party, in like a single boss fight or a fight that doesn't have phases, it works out excellently. So you're talking strike missions, you're talking raids, you're talking about the fractal challenge modes where you're dealing with a singular boss. It can work out pretty good just because you can generate your clones, and you need your clones to generate your boons. But when you're running through trash mobs, it's not where it's at. It's super annoying to deal with. And in a similar vein, that's kind of where the Alacrity Mirage ends up as well. I would say if Chronomancer's B tier, Alac Mirage is C tier. I love the Alac Mirage build. I absolutely love playing it. It's one of my favorite Alacrity builds to play. It's just that you can't really play it when you're dealing with trash because you can't really generate your clones fast enough to pop them off and get your boons. Or in Mirage's case, it is easier. Your clones are more for generating damage, but it's still a problem, right? Moving forward, Quickness Scrapper is basically S tier. Quickness Scrapper, Power Scrapper and Quickness Scrapper pops off. Its kit with its gyros, super good. Does a lot of damage, has a lot of built-in break bar potential. I love Quickness Scrapper. Quickness Scrapper is arguably the most broken build. Super speed, love to have it. Super strong. Druid, I don't even know if an Alacrity DPS Druid exists. I think that people have tried to do Condilac Druids. I don't know if that build is real. I'm putting it in grief tier. If it is, it's in grief tier. Quickness Herald, the king. The build that keeps Herald alive is Quickness DPS Herald. It's super good in open world. It's super easy and consistent in group content. I love it. Quickness Berserker is similar, where Quickness Berserker is the build that is keeping Berserker alive. Power DPS Berserker is not super great. Condi DPS Berserker, not super great, but Quickness Berserker is actually, it's a lot of fun to play. It's fast paced, but it is easy to follow rotationally. Well, and it brings a lot of CC to the table as well. So you have Headbutt, you have other little tools with the Power Berserker. So Power Quickness Berserker, that is. Maybe it's not as good as Tempest in terms of group support, but it's a really fun build to play. It's probably the best build for the Berserker. The Alacrity Scourge, Alacrity DPS Scourge, it's S tier. It has a lot of barrier production built into the kit. It has a lot of Condi clears built into the kit. It could take Flesh Golem, which gives a bunch of CC to your party. So it could basically do anything that you need it to do. It is really good. And in a similar vein, the Quickness Harbinger, I would say it's probably pretty close to the Berserker. It doesn't quite have enough group support to be S tier for what I would like, but it is a really good build nonetheless. Quickness Deadeye. Nobody really plays Quickness Deadeye. Some people play Quickness Pistol Deadeye. You do have Headshot, you do have CC available to you, but nobody sees a Quickness Deadeye and goes like, oh yeah, hell yeah. They see it and they go, all right, it'll work. Quickness Firebrand. Quickness DPS Firebrand. I want to say it's still strong. It's still strong, and it does have the ability. So the thing about Quickness DPS Firebrand is when you're playing Quickness DPS Firebrand, you're basically playing like Heal Firebrand, but not taking any Heal Firebrand utilities. That's how it feels almost. Instead of using like staff to generate might, you have a pistol torch and a pistol kit. I want to say it's not super great. I think it works. All of these builds work. It's just what is better than the others, right? I would say if a Quickness Firebrand joined my group, I would not be unhappy about it. I would be happier than seeing a Quickness Deadeye if they can perform their rotation, right? Like one button rotation, guaranteed damage. But if the Firebrand can perform, it does have a lot more tricks that it could pull out than the Deadeye. So I think it's in B tier with the Chronomancer. Condi Renegade is a thing of the past. It doesn't really exist anymore, unfortunately. I wish it did. It was a really fun build to play. I don't think I've seen a Condi Renegade in a couple of years now. So unfortunately, my beloved is going in the grief tier. Quickness Catalyst. Honestly, I really liked it. Quickness Catalyst is kind of the same thing as the Tempest, where you just go in there and you do your thing. It doesn't have super high amounts of CC, doesn't have super high amounts of group support like the Tempest does, but it can do damage and it can provide its boons fairly easily. It is very strong. I think it's pretty good. Alacrity Mechanist. I want to say the Alacrity Mechanist is like the noob's best friend. Now, does it have a lot that it does? No. Does it have the ability to produce its boon easily alongside barrier, alongside Condi clears, alongside providing CC? Yes. And it does it in a very straightforward, easy to understand way. And I think similar to the Quickness Herald, these two guys are like best friends. These are the noob classes that if you are trying to fill that role and you don't want to spend, a few weeks in a master class trying to master another build or play style, these two builds are the ones that you'd pick to perform that role. Is the Alacrity Mechanist and the Quickness Herald. These two are best buddies. Now, if you really want to be sweaty, you pick this guy, but this guy is perfectly fine. Quickness Untamed. I'm gonna put it in B tier. I think Quickness Untamed is very good. It's just hard to play, and if you're a master of it, boom, S tier for sure. But it has CC, it has a lot of self-sustain and stuff like that. It's just kind of fast-paced, and I don't think many people. I wouldn't recommend Quickness Untamed. I would recommend these builds up here for sure to learn. But this Untamed has always kind of been a sleeper, so I'm gonna leave it in B tier for sure. The Alacrity DPS Spectre. Now this one doesn't. I would say, dude, I'm gonna put it in B tier. The thing about the Spectre is that even on its heal build, you kind of don't want to go into full healing. Like where Spectre really shines is like Plague Doctor builds or Celestial builds, like hybrid builds, because its kit can put out a decent amount of damage while providing a lot of support. But as a true Alacrity DPS, I don't think it really is where it once was. It was at like A or S tier for sure, but I think that it's kind of changed a bit from where it was. So this is a lot of different builds to kind of keep track of, but I think I'm comfortable leaving it in B tier. I do really like Spectre a lot though. Next up, we have the Power and Alacrity Evoker. Now, I don't know whether or not they're actually better than the Quickness Catalyst or the Alacrity Tempest, but I haven't really played the build that much, so I'm still going through all the Visions of Eternity specs. I'm still playing it. It does seem like it's good. A lot of people play Elementalist more than I do, so I would say it's definitely between A and B tier just because of the kit that it has. I'm willing to say that it's probably in line with the Catalyst and Tempest. I don't want to dump on Elementalists just to dump on them, but that's probably where they land. Now, the Quickness Troubadour. I'm going to put the Quickness Troubadour in A tier because it is just like the Chronomancer, except you don't need to deal with clones, so it's easier to provide your boons. Now, it is a power build. You are using spear and dagger sword, so it is a little bit more complicated than some of these other builds are. Like, I think it's kind of harder than like Power Berserker to play, but it is pretty strong and it is easier in my opinion than Chronomancer, even though it does kind of lack some utility that Chronomancer can provide. I do think it's good. It's so in a little bit more complexity play overall, I think it turns out better. In short, I think the Power Troubadour does turn out easier to play than the Chronomancer does. Quickness Ritualist, kind of the same thing. It did just recently get nerfed. That build got hit hard recently. It was an absolute monster of a build, and then now it's kind of a shadow of what it once was on release, but hopefully it'll have a little bit more iterations to bring it in line. I would say it's probably, would I rather have a Quickness Harbinger or a Quickness Ritualist now? Probably a Harbinger. So I'm gonna leave that in B tier. It still does function, but it's not super great. All right, we're coming up on the end of things here, I think. So Alacrity Willbender is a grief tier build for sure. Alacrity Bladesworn, same thing. Am I missing anything? Quickness Gale Shot, C tier. Super complex, super not really worth it in comparison to these other builds. I would rather play almost anything else. Like Quickness Untamed is better to play than Quick Gale Shot for sure. Amalgam, Alacrity Amalgam, A tier build, has a lot of utility. Engineers are eating good in the boon support category for sure. Luminary, a DPS Luminary. I don't know if it's. I would rather have an Amalgam over a Luminary. For sure. Not my favorite. We also have the Condi Alac Antiquary. Is it as good as Spectre? Probably not. So most of these builds, when you're talking about like, oh, it's a Condi Spectre versus a Condi Antiquary, or a Quickness build versus another Quickness build that are the same thing, right? Like that are the same class, it's going to use the same rotation. For instance, the Power Chronomancer uses spear and dagger sword. The Power Troubadour uses spear and dagger sword. Same. Like, so skill usage wise, rotationally, it just matters on what F skills you're pressing or the mechanics that you use. And that's kind of the same way I feel about these guys. I would rather have an Alacrity Spectre than an Alacrity Antiquary. And it looks like that is pretty much the tier list for boon support specs. If you think I'm wrong, you're welcome to argue with me in the comment section below. And if you watched the whole video, I want to thank you for watching. A big thanks to all my subscribers and a special thanks to all of my members. Got more videos coming out, blah, blah, blah. It's the holidays. I hope everybody had a good holiday. If you want to use my referral link, I am an Arenanet partner. Everybody knows the drill. Thanks for stopping by, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.